Christian, what was
Hello.
your takeaway from the dress rehearsal, so to speak, today?
Yeah, it was good. I think it's obviously it's difficult to play those type of games when you're going against like a lot of guys you don't know and how they play, and I think they kind of, you just don't know how they're going to come out. If a guy's physical, if a guy's a skill guy, if what kind of system they're going to play. So I thought we did a pretty good job adjusting after that first period. I think there was a great response by our team when we go down to there. Obviously it's preseason, but you saw all the guys out there. They kind of took it upon ourselves as our group, and a lot of emotion out there. A lot of guys battling, kind of going all out, which is fun to see. I think that speaks a lot about our group, even though it's preseason. I think it's fun to get those reps in, and a lot of guys cheering for each other, block shots, big saves by Hughes, and go on and on. So I thought it was good. I think the game came a lot of different ways too. A lot of power plays, penalty kills. Great to work on the 6-on-5 there, 6-on-4 at the end. So I think it's a perfect last game for our team.
Does that response almost get you to the kind of emotional energy level you need to be at?
I think so. It's preseason, right? Guys could kind of choose one side or the other and just kind of forget about it. But and you look at our group there, every guy gave 100% tonight, and snapped 3 quick right away like that. That's I don't care who you're playing preseason or not. That's a good response to have.
With all the mixing and matching that goes on in preseason, how good is it to have a game like this with your line mates, Valeno and Austin, get some chemistry going heading into the season?
Yeah, I think that's a big part too. I think this last game, obviously those two, we practice every now and then here and there, but it's much quicker, much harder in a game. I think it's great to be able to work with those guys, just even if it's for one game. I think you learn a lot about a guy and his tendencies and kind of where you guys could find each other and where you guys can go to make more space, stuff like that. There's a lot of small reads that happen in a game, and like you just said, it's nice to be able to play with the guys that you're probably going to start the year with, and I think that goes for power play, penalty kill, deep pairings, and all the other lines. I think that's it's good to get those reps in. It's chemistry is a big deal in this league, and you look at the top teams, top lines, top PK or power play units. They basically know where the other guy's going to be without even having to look. So I think that was a good step in the right direction with playing with those two. Had a good response, had a couple good goals by Joe, and it was good.
Their lineup was worked very hard. How valuable was that at the end? A situation you might face, probably going to face at some point in the regular season.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is, if it's a 7-0 game, either way, it's kind of what do you really get out of it? So I think you're spot on. We're going to be in a 1-goal game with the other team's goalie pulled, and we got to figure out how to, to win the game. That's a lot of these games in this league come down to that last couple minutes. Special teams especially. That's a 6-on-4. That's not easy to do. And I think that's, like you just said, it's great to work on that stuff because that could happen on Thursday. I think it's good to get those reps in and watch video on it, and also just to feel it. So when we're, if that does happen Thursday, we just did it 4 days ago and kind of have that confidence.
What did you learn about this team here in these last couple of weeks?
Yeah, a lot of things. It's fun. It's fun to get to know so many different guys. Obviously, we have a lot of new faces in here, but a lot of probably a big shout out to the leadership group here. Starting with Larks, I think they did such a good job just kind of bringing us all together as a team. The last 3 or 4 weeks, I can make a list of all the things that we did outside the rink, even in the rink, practices, training camp that all the guys, it was a fun battle out there. I think there was good competition for minutes and special teams and scenarios, a lot of healthy things. And then, the locker room itself, we have a lot of guys that have played a lot of games and have won some, championships. I think you lean on those guys. You need to have those veteran players, those guys that could have gone through multiple seasons, multiple teams that kind of read the room and know what works. So you look at guys like Perron and Petrie, and you could go down the list. Even Motzi. These guys have played a long time, have played some meaningful games, and they know what it takes to go into the season prepared. So great, good to be with all them and kind of gel as a team. It's a fun team. I can tell you that we get along well, and I think that goes a long way on the ice. Guys want to work for each other.
Very good practice there at the end for facing that kind of push.
Yeah,
Probably
I
at some
mean,
point in the regular season.
I think the whole game was productive like that. I think we got a lot out of it. I'm glad we got the outcome. I like the fact that we pushed back after being down 2-0, and some positives for sure tonight.
But that situation, I mean, winning, protecting a 1-goal lead, or in the situation facing a 6-on-4, that's valuable.
Yeah, you want to get in every situation possible and get comfortable with it. Still dealing with some personnel in those situations. But again, I think a lot of positives, probably reflects camp. Some ups and downs, a work in progress, but again, some positives.
That first half of the game, was it just kind of like you've been talking about the last few days, that, a team,
Yeah,
an experienced team like that?
I didn't hate our first half of the game. Obviously, we were down 2-0. Definitely a little bit on us and the fact that we played extremely slow, but probably a credit to them. They had a very organized 1-1-3. They were committed to it. And not only were they making it hard on us in the neutral zone, they were retrieving pucks out of it. If you think back to our first 30 minutes, we had a ton of set breakouts and regroups, slow set regroups in the neutral zone. And when that happens, usually you're playing slow and a team is beating you into the structure. So on us for playing slow, but definitely some credit to Toronto and their game plan.
Fischer said he's been impressed by Veleno this camp and preseason. What have your impressions been of Veleno?
Great camp. Assertive with his game, confident. Scored again tonight. Really good camp for him, and hopefully it can leak into a really good start to the season.
You like the potential of that line, that kind of a heavy line with him and Fischer and
Yeah,
Costin?
we'd like to start getting a little identity with that. We'll still, as you even saw in the third, we've mixed around some lines. We're still a work in progress with the lines, but I think that's a line we'll start with probably on Thursday, and we just want to build that line for a little identity.
What have you learned about Costin having him for a whole camp now?
Same thing. He needs to build an identity, simplify his game. He's big. When he's simple, he's effective, but you saw him turn some pucks over today that put him and his teammates in a bad situation. But that's typical exhibition, getting through some things, getting through some rust maybe. But he probably reflects the other two. From Answer's question, just like to build an identity with that line, be hard to play against.
I read your quote the other day about the media being negative about playoff chances. I'm curious, at this point for you, are the playoffs a goal or an expectation?
Good question. I wouldn't say so much negative. I think more of a reality of, obviously no one has us making the playoffs, but I don't necessarily have as much of a knock on our guys of just there's really nowhere to go in the division. So of course it's a goal. It's a goal. It's been a goal of hockey for the last 100 years. But playing the right way and establishing an identity, creating a little bit of a process will give us a chance to talk about that. Exactly where we were last year, 3/4 of the season. We were right there because we were playing the right way. We'll have to get there again. So it's not so much, of course there's some negativity. I saw an article where I think it's Athletic, the 10 hopeless teams. And I rarely read the media because of it. And unfortunately, I scrolled down, we were the first hopeless team. And again, I don't necessarily think it's a negative. It's probably more of a reality where we're at, but it's up to us to change that narrative.